Mr. Bond, you have a phone call. You may take it at Lori's Lattes Bar. Bond here. Yes, Chief. You want me to go to Arby's Toy Box and do a review on the Playmobil DB5? I'm on it, Chief. I'll be right there. Nigel, bring me my car. Today on Arby's Toy Box, we're going to take a look at, I think, everybody's young boy dream car, right? I mean, you've got, you know, the Ghostbusters car, and I grant it, you've got the General Lee, and you've got the Scooby-Doo van, you've got cool Mustangs, you've got Knight Rider, you've got A-Team, you've got the DeLorean, but I mean, think about it. Who didn't, as a young child, a young boy, fantasize just a little bit about being James Bond and being, you know, in the casino or in an action, you know, sequence where you're fighting for your life and just finding those spy things to do, right? I mean, I had every spy gadget that you could think of when I was a kid, but not because we bought them. I mean, my dad made these cool little gadgets for us, literally in his workshop. I mean, we even had, you know, communicators and special walkie-talkies, which we thought were the best of the best. And basically they were just carved out little pieces of wood or plastic or something, right? But I mean, we were James Bond and we were having those adventures when we were kids. So when they came out with the DB5 here, it was a gotta have it type scenario. And you know, there are some things about this we're going to take a look in this video, and I do have a little bit of a display here that I'll show you where I've got the you know, my Goldfinger and, you know, Thunderball and some movies, and out in the other room I've got a display of some Johnny Lightning cars and so forth. But when I take all of that, it came back around to this. Now, I'm going to start off with some critiques, okay? So there's some things that Playmobil still doesn't get 100% right. For example, the shine on the Knight Rider puts a, you know, they could have put a shine on it. They have other Playmobil vehicles and characters and to where the plastic shiny. So I'll make that right off the bat. This should be shiny. Okay, the car in the movies was always shiny. This should be shiny as well. The doors need to open. They should open. Now, I know nobody's at Playmobil's probably listening to me, but if you are, the hood needs to open. The doors need to open. The trunk needs to open. Those are things that should open when you're dealing with a product that's $90. And I know that probably most of that is licensing, but it's still one of the things that I was a little disappointed in when I've got the final product and there's no gloss to it. And, you know, I get this, you know, where this is detachable and you can, you know, put your James Bond characters in there, and it has the right under here, but you don't really see this in a lot of the videos, but this is just a spring-loaded shot through this little plastic slide right here. Let me put those down, where you can eject the seat. Hold that thought. And so, you know, slide that thing back in there, and And that's just one of the little things that the little plastic piece slides up there, because if the roof is on, snap that back down, if the roof is on, then this little plastic piece right here, when you pull down on that, this plastic shoots up, pops the roof off, and then of course shoots out the character in the seat. So that's really cool. The dashboard inside, also fairly well done. Not as good as the DeLorean, but still fairly well done. I mean, a DB5 doesn't really have that intricate of a dashboard, but they could have spent a little bit more time on the instrument cluster, again, like they did with some of their other products. The seats are pretty good as far as detail. It's just not a glob of plastic like they did with like the Scooby-Doo vans and stuff. They have a little, you know, beep, 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 beep meter on the inside, a little GPS tracker from the old days, and the gear shift knob. It's going to be hard to see, but I'll try to get that in there with a still shot. But they have the little gear shift knob with the red button on top of it. That at least was a good touch. As far as the rest of it goes, you've got a bulletproof, if you will, letting ching, 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 and it's got some bullet holes on the back there for that. And then it has the little pieces here on the side which slide out for the, you know, drive up there and cut somebody's tire things. It would have been nice if they figured out a way to spring load that, but I get that, you know, at the end of the day. And another situation where, you know, the rims and tires are identical to the other Playmobil. It's just the hubcaps. It amazes me how they can use that same rim for so many different things. And then also you've got the license plate that changes here on the front to 3 different ones. And this is another one of those situations to where I let people know, take the time on the stickers. This one doesn't have very many stickers. You got the front and you got the back. That's about it when it comes to the stickers. So take your time to put the stickers on. And then here in the front, you can pull these out. Now these do not pull out very easily, but they do slide out, and you can pull off the little covers there, and you've got your machine guns. Again, with as much space as on the inside of this engine compartment, they could have put an engine in here for you to look at. They could have put those machine guns on a little reciprocating piece of plastic that rolled with the wheels. There's a lot of things they could have done with this to make it better. But for its size and scale, and the fact that it comes with the characters, you got James Bond here, dong 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 dong, and you know, he got his little bang bang with him, pew 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 pew. And then you got Goldfinger. It did come with some gold, 4 bars of gold. And then you've got Goldfinger here with his little binoculars. And then Odd Jobs, and he comes with some dynamite. And the hat, you know, it would have been nice if that had like a little silver paint on the bottom of it to give it that metal, you know, impression with the Goldfinger movie. And then it comes with the little Chinese guy, which of course gets ejected out in the movie. I guess they had to put him in there just for good measure, so you can, you know, blast him out of there. Ready? Pew! Oops. Come here, you. Oh, so sorry. Let me go back up here. And then I have a few others. This is the movie camera from my other set over here. That's where the seat landed. But, you know, overall, you know, what do I think? Is it worth the $90? Well, I mean, I know there's licensing stuff in there, but, you know, it's one of those things to where these are not going to necessarily come out again. You can definitely get better replicas out there in this scale. The replicas in die-cast are probably going to cost you the same amount of money. Think about it. If you get one of these 1/18 scale and it's good quality like you have with, you know, one of the General Lees or one of these guys here that is, you know, die-cast with all the doors open and it's just a really, really well done quality build. This is through Mattel's Black Edition. But if you get one like that, it's going to cost you in the $80 or $90 range if you can even find them anymore, because especially with the Mattels, they didn't make them things very long. And so with these, the fact that it's 90 bucks, yeah, I get it that some of them they're doing some licensing stuff, but the fact that you get this, you get the branded characters, you get the gold, and you get a couple of accessories with it, and it does have the feature for, you know, blowing the seat out, and you can slide your characters in there and have some maybe role play. You know, I'm okay with the fact that it is from only a comparison standpoint. Now, just like with each one of these reviews, there are some things that I think they cut corners on that they didn't necessarily have to. See, the thing that maybe Playmobil and a couple of these other companies need to keep in mind is this. If you're going to pay 90 bucks for this, you would pay 130 for a better quality one. If you're already going to make that much investment, in my opinion, and you're like, oh man, I gotta have that. I mean, it comes with the characters, and it's nice and shiny, and it's gonna look fantastic on my shelf, and when I move it, it's a showcase piece, right? Kind of like the Enterprise. You know, it's kind of worth the extra money because you walk into this 3-foot play set, right? This could be another one of those showcase pieces for all the Bond maniacs out there, you know, like myself that love the movies. This could be a showcase piece, but it's not. This ended up being kind of a secondary piece that, you know, collectors like myself and guys that like to collect toys like this that have a movie related thing to it, you know what, we're still going to pay the money. But if we're going to spend 90, we'll spend more for the better quality product. I'm just saying, if you're going to make, you know, $90 investment for something like this, that for most of us, I mean, let's just be real, is going to sit on a shelf, we'll spend an extra 50 bucks if we're going to get it a better quality product, if we're going to get the shine, if we're going to get the better looking wheels, because again, these are just dull plastic, you know, and if I might say, from a distance, this looks really nice. Close up, it looks really cheap, especially in comparison to some of the other ones. Now, the Knight Rider, I've done a review on the Knight Rider. It has a better feel to it, a little better quality. This is just so light, and there's no, you know, like I said, when you just look at it, it just looks cheap. Now, maybe that's because of a little bit of the gray on there. I don't know, but it just looks cheap. But again, it's one of those gotta have it's, especially if you're into Playmobil, you're into toys, you're into toy collecting, putting two together, especially if you're a movie guy like me, to where I would say better than 3/4 of my collection is dedicated to movie related toys and memorabilia. You know, you've got to have it. And it's, you know, it's been out long enough that if you wait for just a little bit, my guess, because of how cheap it is, as far as quality, collectors are not going to be heavy duty collecting these. My guess is probably, this video is made in 2022. Probably by Christmas of 2022, and probably no later than Christmas of 2023, these things will be 60 bucks. They might even get less than that. Because if you remember, the Scooby-Doo van came out and it was like going like hotcakes. And then when people started getting them and seeing how, you know, it didn't even look like the original Scooby-Doo van, people stopped buying them. And the guys that bought large shipments of them up front were getting rid of them. I mean, like big time sales. You could pick those things up for 30 bucks. I got a feeling this one's probably going to not go as cheap as 30. but I would suspect it'll go as cheap as 60. That's just a Arby's Toy Box guess, based upon how I've seen some other stuff. Even when the Star Trek, the Enterprise came out, it was $500. Within 6 or 7 months, it's going on eBay for $350. I've seen them as cheap as $275 at one time during a holiday special on Amazon. The eBay guys are still holding out. They still got them in there for $500. And I'm like, dude, until the retail sells out, you're not going to get that. So I would take it off the list and wait if it was me. But I hope you enjoyed this little review with Arby's Toy Box. And hopefully you're clicking the subscribe button down below, and that you're liking and sharing my page. So I can keep doing cool videos like this. We don't monetize or anything, but drop a comment down below. I'd like to know if you're enjoying what you are, and if you don't like what you see, don't say nothing. Just move on. But I mean, I like I said, we don't monetize these. I just like doing these and sharing my collection and some of my opinions on some of these different toys. And every once in a while you run across something, just a really cool toy like this, which is. Do you hear that ticking?